Pisces Rising, welcome here to Soul Passages Astrology for your March 23rd Eclipse report. I'm Georgia Dempsey, your astrologer, and I'm so glad that you stopped by to learn more about what's shaking up your world. As you guys remember, we had another eclipse on March 9th, and that eclipse was all about you defining who you are at a new point in your life. And the reason I say that is because you had a big eclipse in your first house, the house of self, at the beginning of the month. This was a new moon phase. And the thing that's interesting about new moons is that there is no light. No light from the sun, no light from the moon. So it was as if you were searching for answers of who you are within the dark. Well, 2 weeks later, we now have a full moon that will be shining a much brighter light onto your house of intimacy. The planetary lineup of this eclipse is much the same as it was the last time, with the exception that you're going to have that full moon in Libra at 3 degrees in your 8th house. So now you are balancing what you need and value with your Sun and Mercury in Aries in your 2nd house, with the needs of the significant others in your life. And that is reflected by the full moon in the house of intimacy. Saturn is still going to be a major game player in this whole deal. He's a pivotal role to this whole eclipse, just as he was back in the March 9th event. The message of this big T-square fulcrum point is a moment of pause that precedes change. It either heralds an alert readiness to act or distress regarding not knowing what lies ahead. For you, Pisces Rising, you should be getting a better handle on the path, since sizzling matters behind closed doors have now been revealed. The question remains, can you have your needs met while ensuring that your partner is happy as well? Jupiter in Virgo is the polarity point, encouraging you to bring forth a relationship of substance from within the emotional waters of yourself. Whatever you can picture and imagine with your mind, you can make happen, but it will not be without effort, I can tell you that. Saturn always requires a price, and for you, that begs the question, can you be true to yourself and your needs while still meeting the needs of others? The 8th house is a pretty loaded place astrologically. It deals with life, birth, death, sex, taboos, healing, psychological issues, and intimacy. To say that it is a whammy-jammy kind of place would be an understatement. But it can also herald in transformative change, bringing a lot of joy into our lives as well. If you can juggle the opposition between the house of self and the house of others, 1st versus 7th, you will beat the T-square. And you'll do it in grand style, but it's going to require work, compromise, and effort. Your partnerships, lovers, spouses, and close business partners may challenge you, reward you, and or knock you to your knees. It all depends on how well you can juggle the tension of that square that Saturn imposes. That Saturn does want to define you on the world stage. So whatever comes out of the heated fires of your relationships is going to have a major impact on your life. It's as if you are kind of like a glob of metal being worked in the hot furnace of a forge. and the other people in your life have a lot to do with what comes out. Naturally, your own actions, free will, and hard work have a good say in the matter as well. Jupiter, who is currently at 16 degrees of Virgo, right next to the North Node, will make an exact square to Saturn in Sagittarius, who is located in a very public part of your chart, the 10th house. It's time for you to get serious about the truth of who you are, recognizing that that definition can indeed change over time. If you're able to navigate the creative tension of the square, great blessings can be found within your house of partnerships. Issues with women will be highlighted during the eclipse since the full moon is located in your intimacy department at 3 degrees of Libra. The Sabian symbol for this position is priceless. The dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. The transforming power of silence and darkness lead to stirring revelations. So whatever you've been wondering about since March 9th, in the quiet of your own mind, you now have a much firmer answer regarding the original question posed by the first eclipse. Who are you? Uranus has been stirring up your values sector, which is probably making things even harder to determine. And he's adding a lot of interest to the mix. What you once valued may no longer hold true, and you're being asked to be courageous in going after that which is important to you now. With the planet of revolution sitting at 19 degrees of Aries, it wants to take you on a magic carpet ride through your value system to revamp, redefine, and re-inspire what matters the most. Only a crazy planet that moves backwards could stir up so much craziness, am I right? Meanwhile, Mars, your planet of action, is fired up in your 10th house of career. Use this time frame to rocket fuel your career while not forgetting that the partnerships you have at work can make or break you at this stage of your development. So play nice in the sandbox if you want to get ahead. Continue to seek win-win situations while remaining true to yourself. Draw on the strength you have within you to define the new you. Now that intimate matters are more fully revealed, you should have a better sense of yourself and what is and isn't going to work for you. You are playing in the house of 50 shades of gray, so be patient with yourself as you select the shade of gray that works best for you. Pluto, who is lurking at 19 degrees of Capricorn in your 11th house of friends, organizations, and long-term plans, will be hurling energy into your first house. That means that powerful people are pumping energy into you. There's also a desire on their behalf that you fit into the group think of the herd. Fortunately, the Sabian symbol for this transformative planet is the image of a 5-year-old child carrying huge shopping bags full of groceries. In other words, you've got what it takes, Pisces Rising. Not only is your plate full, but your talents runneth over, and the people around you are noticing. Nonetheless, Pluto is also there to remind you that fitting in and playing nice is key to having that full box of groceries. There's always a shadow side when you confront Pluto in the 11th house and the darker side of groupthink. So do be careful about sticking your neck out too far and while you're playing counselor amongst your coworkers. By the end of the 23rd March eclipse, you should have a better sense of who you are, especially when it comes to the others in your life. Love and respect whoever you find in your looking glass mirror, and be okay to roll with the changing value system edging its way into your awakened mind. With that, dear Pisces Rising, if you need help as you define this new you, I am running my special till March 1, $50 for a 1-hour reading. I'm happy to help. Contact information is at the front of the video. Also, I would absolutely love to hear what's shaking out in your world. Did this eclipse report help you? Did it make sense? Did it ring true? Does it bring value to you? If so, I totally appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up and share my channel, subscribe. I would absolutely love that. All right, well, peace, blessings, and namaste.